MK, and I am here with another 31 days of cut files. I have this amazing cut file for today, this little corner piece, and I have several things to pick out. So I've got a couple things that didn't make it into the shop, but they've been sitting on my desk because I think they're super cute. I've got a couple of these metal gears, I almost forgot the word, and some acrylic stars, and then I don't plan on using that atom at all. I have this chipboard piece that is from Dusty Attic, and it came in the June monthly box. I have this blueprint word that is available in from Dusty Attic that is available in the SAR shop, which is some assemblage required. I've got a couple paper clips that I'm not sure if I'm going to need or not. I have to tell you, these are all from Kaisercraft from the workshop collection, but I set them off to the side and I forgot about them. Yes, I did. And then my leftover bits and pieces from the Garage by Minte and the Inkwell leaves from 49 and Market. I also have this Craft Consortium paper that I plan on using both sides, and we're going to do another pocket page. We're actually going to do both sides of the pocket page because they're about the same thing. It's the underground mine, the collar mine that my husband and I went into when we were in Virginia City. I've got just a couple more photos of this specific underground. But before they take us underground, they talk about the different types of machinery and equipment that they used underground, and then those blocks sitting on that, on the pump, I should say. That is how they actually kept the mine from caving in, because these were all underground mines at the time, and back in the day, they could only go down so far before the beams that they were originally using could not hold the weight of the different, what's it called? Give me a minute. They couldn't hold the weight of the dirt, of the earth above them, and they just kept caving in. Even metal pipes were. And so a gentleman of Philip Diedesheimer, yes, he was a German engineer that was living in the States. And the managers of the collar mine, this specific mine, asked Diedesheimer, I believe is how you say it, if he had a solution. And it took him less than 6 weeks to come up with the solution, which he called the square set. Square set frame is what he dubbed it, and he invented it within less than 6 weeks. And the mine was able to keep going and get down to, I believe, I don't know, 400 and some odd feet, something like that. Yeah, 400. Oh, no, 400 is what is existing and what we go down to. Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure. That is what still exists and what they take us down to show us all the really cool stuff. So anyways, yeah, he invented that block system in order to keep the miners going and keep them safe, because it was collapsing and nobody would want to work in that condition. So thank you, Philip. Then what they are sitting on is actually the pump for the crusher. Now that's actually called a stamp mill. Is what kind of crusher that is. And basically what it does is it takes big old huge heavy weights and drops them onto the ore or the rocks or anything like that, and crushing them, because in all honesty, the rocks will crush, but the minerals, the silver, the gold, the copper, will not. They will just bend. And so it breaks away from the rock and leaves them with the ore, leaves them with the mineral, but gets rid of the ore. The ore is the rock or whatever substance is attached to the gold. And so that is what that green machinery is. It's actually a stamp mill. And then the machine that is down below is actually called a smelter. So what it does is it has different types of cyanide or what is the other word? I can't think of the other word right at the moment, but they put that in there, and that actually takes the fine particles of ore off of the gold and refines it down to just the bare mineral. So it's a process to get gold. It really, really is. And I'm impressed with the fact that they knew this back in the 1800s. That's when this mine was, from the 1860 to 1870s, was how long this mine lasted. And they knew all this stuff, which just totally impresses me. So I did cut my cut file in half. I debated about putting it and wrapping it around in the corner. And then I thought, well, no, because I really wanted to bring the element of this corner. Did I call it a die? I'm sorry. It's a cut file. I wanted to bring the element of my cut file to the other side. And what I love about this cut file is that it's got chains and tools and gears all mixed in it, which just made me think of mining. It just gave me that mining feel. The miners used hammers, not exactly that specific hammer, but they had to use hammers of some sort. The miners also used screwdrivers. They used all sorts of stuff. I don't know about wrenches. Well, probably wrenches, because they had to put that mill together somehow, right? So it was just this really cool process. And so I thought I would bring in the other elements to help me finish off the corner. Now, this here is us actually underground. Now, we are 400 feet underground in the little cavern that still exists. You can see the beams that are still in place from 1870, you guys. 1870 is how long those beams are there. And thanks to Dietesheimer, they're still there. They're still holding it up and allowing it to remain intact. They've got the upper the upper left-hand photo is the hoist that actually hoisted the miners, or one of the hoists, because I can't say it's the hoist because there's actually a hoist down in the ground. But it is the upper portion of the hoist that hoisted the miners up out of the ground. And then the lower portion is still in that little mine area. And then, of course, what we're looking at are several pictures of the hydraulic jack that was used. Now, this was actually called, some of it called it a widowmaker, because this is what causes silica to come into the air and give the miners black lungs. But it was efficient. It allowed them to dig a tunnel more efficient than their pickaxes and whatnot. So yeah, it definitely was a system. They had a airline going into it, so that way it could, hydraulically power. Now, it wasn't a oil hydraulic; it was more like a hydraulic for water, and it just caused a lot of pressure in and out, allowing that jack. It's more like a chisel, but they call it a jack, to hit the earth. Also, too. I forgot what I was going to say. As soon as I said the word also, I forgot. But yeah, it was pretty neat. They turned it on, and oh my stars, it was so loud, so very, very loud. I couldn't even imagine what it was like with multiples of those down there. So absolutely, yes. All right, so I am going to finish off my little side cluster going on. Now, these specific page protectors are from scrapbook.com, and they are, I really love them because I take vertical and horizontal photos, and this gives me the opportunity to put vertical and horizontal photos in a 12 by 12 format. And then I have this really cool 2-inch pocket. They actually put it into a pocket for me to put a title on, for me to decorate, for me to just slip in a piece of paper and call it good. It doesn't really matter. I bent my piece of wood. This is why it never made it into the shop, because it did have a weak point. Plus, all of that engraving in one huge wood piece like that actually caused the wood to warp a lot. So I wasn't comfortable selling one of those in the shop. With the issues, and then of course turned it into an acrylic piece, and now the acrylic piece you can find in the June monthly box. So yeah, I am going to go ahead and use this Document It Word by a Heady Swap Thicker collection. I don't really remember exactly which collection it is from. I apologize. It was a last minute decision that I think I wanted a real title. Yes, I have the other one that's it wasn't Back in the Day. What was it? Back in Time. Yes, it was back in time. And I had that, I was okay with that, but I felt like this was another thing that had to be documented. I really did. And the Minte stuff, the Minte Garage elements are absolutely perfect with this. I love the pop of blue. I'm sad to say that I used every single one of those. I don't hardly have anything left over. Surprise! From this collection. And yes, I am heavily using up all of these gears because surprise, surprise, I have about 4 more of these packages. Not just for boys, but in general. I've got a ton. Every time that I saw them come up, I would buy them. Yes, I would, because I love the variation in each one of them. If I feel like I was getting a different mix every single one, and no two were the same, and I had FOMO. I had to have them all. So anyways, that is the layout for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and listening to me talk about the underground equipment. I really, really love this stuff, and I am so impressed when you sit there and pull out the word 1800. I'm so impressed with how advanced they were back then, but then how advanced we are now. So it's just fascinating to me. So anyways, thank you again for hanging out with me today. Please be sure to check out the 2 links that I have down below. One is for the 31 Days of Cut File Facebook group, where lots and lots of people are sharing what they're doing with these cut files. And oh my gosh, you guys, I am so thrilled with how well everyone is using their cut files this year. It just makes my heart happy. Also, too, the second one is for the YouTube group. Those of us that are playing along on YouTube are popping in our videos over there. So again, thank you for all the YouTubers. Don't forget to check out Janet Fritz, who is Galaxy Girl Creations. She has been playing along with me all month long with these cut files, and oh my stars, her layouts have been just fabulous, absolutely fabulous. So again, thank you, and I will check y'all later. Bye.